Uh,
What's up, everybody? It's another episode of the NFC East Show where I'm only going to be here for a few minutes because I am about to walk into Citizens Bank Park for a playoff Phillies game.
and this
How are
this
you
the clincher,
doing?
right? They won
If
last
they
night, right?
win, if they win, they
Okay.
clinch.
Okay. Well, good luck tonight. Good luck.
How are you doing right now?
I've had better weeks. I've had better weeks. I'll say better years. Yeah. You know what? I went on a rant last night on my show, and I'm still feeling good about that said rant. And now we got Miami. And so, that saying, when it rains, it pours. We'll see. We'll see this week. It's a week to week type league, especially for us. And I don't know. We got a lot of a lot of areas to clean up, and it's not looking good. It's not looking. I mean, it's just as of right now, it's not looking good.
As you can see, I got some fans over here that are all ready to go to the Phillies game.
Yeah.
So
Oh
let's
yeah.
try to talk about footballs a little bit harder. And I got Mini Me next to
Oh,
me.
okay. Yeah, he got him. He's all done up. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
Okay,
talking about.
keep
Oh
it in
yeah.
the family business. Family
You
business
got
here.
to. You got to. You got to.
Yeah, I'll
Mm.
tell you. I watched the game, and I kind of watched it like listening to you a little bit, and it was tough. It was tough to watch.
Yeah. For me, the big change, the big turnaround, obviously, was. I mean, it was the interception. And then when you go back and watch the film from a different angle, it's easy for me to sit there and say Waller was open. Okay. But it was just, it was brutal. I don't I appreciate the aggressiveness in the first quarter on the first drive, but it was too early for that type of move. And I would rather we score the points. I mean, we're sitting at that point 1-2, trying to get another win, and maybe not a win for it on fourth down in the first quarter in the first drive. But and then they tried to, we tried to mimic Philly, that little 1 yard wedge, if you will, and
It's
we're
hard
not
to
Philly.
do.
So
It's hard to
yeah,
do.
yeah, we're
Got to have the
we
right personnel to do it.
well, I mean, we don't have an effective offensive line. Look, when you give up 11 sacks, that's everybody. You know what? Everybody wants to blame Jones. Fine, blame him if you want to. I won't respect your opinion because clearly you didn't watch the game. Now, I'm not saying Jones is not responsible for some of it, but I mean, obviously, Troy Aikman said it best, right? Oh, and I don't like Buck, by the way. Buck got on my nerves last night. You should change that B to F and then put a U at the end for his last name. But Aikman said it best. He said you can't truly evaluate this team because they're not showing you any plays that develop. So it's been a long week at work. I'll just say that.
I understand, and it's a shame that Brookline's not here because I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about it. And I told you guys it would be a close game.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that you guys that Washington was going to blow it. We were going to blow Washington out, and I'm like, I don't think so. It just that they had that bad week last week. They always play us tough. Had they gone for two at the end of the game, I think we'd have lost.
Right.
That's an honest opinion. I feel like we would have lost that game had they gone for two.
Yeah,
That being said, we're 4-0, baby.
that was another
Yeah.
decision. That was another decision, of course, Monday quarterback from Ron Rivera and all the folks out there questioning exactly that point. And you can see, his perspective. But again, that's just it's really not believing in your team to get the job done. From a fan's point of view. From a coaching point of view, you're going to want to tie it up, let your team try and go and win it in overtime. But when you're on the line like that, as much as you battled in that game, if you couldn't go for 2 to try and win it, yeah, there's some questions that need to be said inside that organization of whether Rivera is up to the task or not with this organization.
Yeah, because my thought is that even if you miss it, you're showing something to your team. And the truth of the matter is that they were running through us. They were running through us. They were able to do drive after drive after drive, and we weren't able to stop them. So that's why I wish I would have gotten Porkline's opinion on this, because I feel like that might have had something to say. But listen, guys, I'm going to roll because it's going to be way too loud in here, and I got to get over to the game. So,
all right, man. Good luck.
You guys have a great show. Have a great show, and I'll make sure to listen later.
Yes, sir. All right.
And go Phillies, go Birds. Yeah.
Yeah, going back to the Giants game Monday night, from what I was seeing, was just overall, it was just I mean, you could use a coaching clinic from what I was seeing from the coaching staff. It was from the offensive side of the play calls to the defense side to what are you doing in there? And like you were continuing to say with your offensive line, there was none.
Yeah.
There was none. I mean, every time you look, there was a Seahawk in the backfield. And it wasn't for the good of the game. It was just like, here's another guy. We're in the backfield. Let's sack him.
So there was a big question as to there was a play in the first quarter. It was 3rd and 11, and we hand the ball off. And not only did we hand the ball off,
close to the end zone.
It was it was like a draw play.
Yeah.
And Dable asked Jones what was going on there. And you can read his lips coming off the field. He said, I thought you said don't throw it. Don't throw it.
Yeah.
And when Dable said it was a miscommunication, I was like, a miscommunication? Like what was going on? And then I saw the tweet and with the view of Jones coming off the field, and you can, read his lips clear as day. And he was right. He was right. I know a lot of people, I don't want to say people, I'll say Giant fans. They don't, and respectfully so, they don't want to appreciate Dable's honesty and accountability as to the lack of success that we're having right now as a team. I think it's refreshing. He is not making any excuses. He's saying, the buck stops with me. I got to do better. Now, if he repeats it, I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna be on his side on this. It's because of the fact that he's getting, asked the same question multiple times to where that's just the best answer he could give.
Yeah.
A lot of people are calling for the firing of the offensive line coach, the special teams coach. I will say this right now, and I'll be honest. This is a completely different team, even though the core players are there. This is a completely different team from last year.
Oh, very much.
We're lacking discipline. We're lacking. I don't want to say pursuit. It's like a different attitude, and I don't know. I don't know if it happened before week 1. Or we lost it in week 1 because and how we got beat. I mean, it's as players, they're trying to say the right things. It's week 1, we have to put it past us, blah blah blah. But do they really mean that? There's a lot of
you have a lot
of questions right now
for the Giants too. You have to look at it from a standpoint of the contract negotiations and the holdouts that were going on, and not just with Saquon. You're talking about the deal trying to be worked out with Jones and a couple of other players, and that kind of affects everything when you go into that locker room. You've got guys who are not just as comfortable as they were with the players that that you're talking about last year, that core. So, I mean, there's a bunch of different things that go on in that locker room that we'll never know. But if you can see it on the field, you definitely know there's something going on behind the scenes.
And I still believe that this Coach Dable, has a hand on the pulse. I still believe that. I still believe that the players, especially the players that were there when Judge was there, they know, they understand the result or the consequences and repercussions of their actions, or I'll say lack of action on the football field, on what, stress it puts on the coach, the GM, and all the people on the higher up, all the way to the Tishes and the Maras. They've been there for the firing of coaches.
Yeah,
and I know Jones. I mean, and I don't mean to cut you off. I just want to finish this thought. I know Jones understand. I got to play better, or I'm going to be under a new coach.
Yeah,
and a whole new offense. Everything,
And you're right. You're right in that assessment, and the assessment being that there is nothing showing on the field as far as the anger and hostility towards each other that players sometimes have when the coach does lose the room.
Right.
And so I'm going to say, he is safe with his position. I mean, hell, he was coach of the year last year. So I think he's safe in that aspect.
But you know what NFL really stands for.
Oh, exactly. But I don't think what the pundits and us say is what the ownership is thinking anytime.
Right.
Around
I'm sure that Dable has earned the respect of Shane, and Shane and they have a bond that can't be matched. I'll even say a better bond than your owner and GM. See what I did there? And it's going to be fine. I know Dable will at least be there next year at minimum. And Dable is not the problem. That's the thing. He is not the problem. Now, I mean, I saw him with the scorecard. I mean, I saw him with the play card. And I'm like, wow, he is actually calling plays today.
Yeah, well, see, so that could be some, I mean, I've seen it firsthand as well, but if he is doing that, then he just doesn't have any trust in the offensive coordinator that he has.
I think, I don't want to say he doesn't have, I'm sorry, I cut you. Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
No, and then you have to realize too what Daniel Jones has been dealing with the past 3 seasons.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't just keep swapping out coaches.
No,
hoping for a miracle. There's got to be some sort of stability there. It doesn't matter, if the guy was Aaron Jones or Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, there's got to be some sort of stability there for this kid if he's wanting to succeed, and I just don't see it happening right now.
So there were other games.
That's right.
Moving on. Your guys put on a freaking clinic.
Yeah.
And
going into that game, it was pretty interesting. Everybody had their eyes set on Dakota Prescott, as they usually do, on the coaching. We still hadn't had a receiving touchdown until that game from one of our wide receivers, that is. And going into that game, I heard everything left and right, but I knew Bland stepping in corner was going to be doing a little bit more stepping in for Diggs. 2 interceptions, 1 return for a touchdown. I mean, that was huge. But I think going back to
a fumble.
Oh yeah. Van Der Esch claiming that fumble with that sack. But the interesting thing was, looking at Dak Prescott play and him saying, how angry that he was, and he had a little chip on his shoulder from the previous week, and I can see that. But again, this week and last week, we didn't have our starting offensive linemen. I mean, we were piecing things together, but I mean, we pulled away to get through this game, and the defense did their job. I'm going to have to say that first and foremost. Defense did their part of this job by getting this win. We still are having those troubles inside the red zone, and I didn't like what I saw from that little incident running into each other. Tony Pollard running into Dak Prescott with that big open touchdown right behind them. So, I mean, there's still some work to do, but I'm not going to be too nitpicking on that. So,
Well, allow me to be. You guys were supposed to win this game.
Oh yeah.
And you guys were supposed to beat Arizona. You guys were supposed to be 4-0. 4-0 going against the 4-0 San Francisco 49ers, which I know we'll talk later on.
Yeah.
And you know me, I hate, you know my feelings. I just hate I loathe them entirely, the Dallas Cowboys. And being the fact that I live in Dallas, I think it's hilarious the difference in between the 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you lose. Some will say upset, whatever. In the NFL, and I'm going to be hypocritical. Sometimes it's kind of hard for me to say an upset, but I mean, it's kind of like, you guys are favored. You lost Arizona. You guys were favored against the Patriots. Yes, I know I was picking the Patriots to win, but I knew that this was going to be a shellacking. And I'm going to say it. It's because of their quarterback that's also named Jones. I did not see him. I didn't see the offensive line that needed to be competitive against the Dallas Cowboys defense. I didn't see the type of running game that the Patriots had. I was shocked. I'll tell you what, when I saw that fumble, how Matt Jones I was not surprised that he got benched. And it's funny, granted the Patriots aren't having a successful season either. I mean, people are talking about, Kraft getting more hands-on with the Patriots. And if that were to happen, Belichick's going to hang it up, even though he's 17 games away from, being the all-time winningest coach in NFL. He's going to pass Schuler. But this football team, the Patriots, I mean, granted, they're going to win more games possibly than the Giants because we do have a tough schedule. But I do think one of the wins the Giants have will be against the Patriots. And the weekend of Thanksgiving. Granted, that might be a 3-0 game, last minute field goal. I'm just predicting that right now. I'm not surprised you guys won. That's I mean, one of those the game that was last Sunday was one of the games that I was able to have last year when the Colts came into MetLife and I knew we were going to win, and that's a feeling that I miss. I wish as a Giants fan, I can have that feeling again. Maybe someday,
sooner. Yeah. And the thing is, with the Patriots and the head coach and everyone else, it is a me organization currently as seen by everybody. And yeah, Belichick is chasing that record. If he'll be there next year, who knows. But point on being, the Cowboys had to do what they had to do. And the part that I like the most is my defensive line and of course Micah Parsons. But D-Law got in there and scurried things up, got the passing game. Our defensive line got rid of that passing game pretty quick. And Mac Jones put himself in some predicaments trying to throw across the field, running one way and throwing the other. And he got lucky once.
Right. Yeah.
He did get lucky once. But, this is the NFL, and these guys pick up on that stuff quick. And, I'm just glad Bland was there and he showed out this game like I knew he would. And the thing is about this game this past week was the running game needs to get better for us. Our rush game needs to get better. We need somebody in there that, while Tony Pollard is the guy who we think he is as far as the speed, we need somebody in there with some brute strength to get us that 1 yard when we need that 1 yard. And, that is sorely missed with Zeke gone. When we needed that 1 yard, Zeke could get it. But now we're in predicaments, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, and we're not picking up those on the rushes. We're getting knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and I think we're going to have to do something to try and up that part of the game. And again, one of the big things that was really getting to me this game was our tight ends. Our tight ends kept dropping the ball. You can't do that in this game. If it touches one hand, you got to catch it. If it touches both, you should catch it. And there is no ifs, ands, or buts. And these guys just kept missing pass after pass, just like they did against Arizona. And I don't know what Dak has to do. I mean, you kind of get reluctant to stop throwing to these guys.
Yeah,
if
you
you're
lose trust.
Yeah, you lose trust.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's something we have to look at, or they have to look at, I should say.
I'll be honest. I have the NFL ticket, and I have all the. I mean, I don't know if you saw the Instagram I did, where I have like my iPad, iPads, and then I have the TV. I have all the games on. I try and catch as much action as possible. I was told that Matt Jones threw 2 picks, right?
Yep.
And a fumble.
Both to Bland.
I was told he could have thrown like 3 more, but they were dropped. Was that true? Is that true?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wilson missed one right in his hands. I mean, he was running strong right, and I mean, he literally threw it right to him. All Wilson had to do was raise his hands, but he dropped it, and hence why he's a DB. But it was several instances where that happened, where these guys just dropped the ball, one to Van Der Esch. And Mac Jones getting benched was probably for the best, because the noise in that stadium was pretty loud, and it was just taking a toll on these guys. And you can feel the shift in the first quarter. I mean, right then and then you can feel the shift they went from, okay, we're in this game, to this game's over in the first quarter. And you can see it on the sideline. There's a lot of things you don't see on the sideline when you're watching it on TV, but as well as I do, when you're there in person, you can see the reactions from the players. You can see the reactions from the coaches. You can see the medical staff, the trainers. You can see the frustration build up on these guys. So, like I said, first quarter, they pretty much got down and out that quick.
So I'm looking at the box scores. Obviously, time of possession. That's a big one for me. You guys had the ball for 35 minutes.
Yep. And again, we were driving. We were good between the 20s, but we'd get into that red zone, and it was just like, okay, let's see what we can do. And that's the part that's frustrating.
You're right, because I think Philly even said last week that you guys go. How many field goals you guys kicked?
We had 3.
Okay, well, that's not. I mean, that's kind of normal.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
Yeah, we had two defensive touchdowns, which helped out tremendously. The interception and the fumble recovery.
So, like I said, 35 minutes to 24 minutes time of possession. Now, this is where I see straight dominance on the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I put dominance and Cowboys in the same sentence.
The first down.
People put oh my God, 22-10.
Yep.
22 first downs to 10.
Yeah, and the third down conversions were important as well.
Yeah, 8 for 15.
Yep.
To New England's 4 for 13.
Yep. And the good thing is we didn't get into that many third and longs and stuff. It was second down, first down, second down, first down. And that's what helped out that game. But again, it was between the 20s that was fine. It was once we get beyond that 20, and I think, the preseason of the 4 games is now over for the Cowboys and actually all teams. The preseason is basically over. It's time to play some serious football. And I'm hoping that I see some better stuff come out. San Francisco is going to be a huge one, but our field goal kicker is amazing. I have to give him a shout out. I was hoping before the half they would let him kick that 60-some yard field goal, but of course, no. They committed a penalty, so we got the automatic first down. So
and I got Young.
I just wanted to see him kick it that far.
I got Young K saying, "Wow, Sneaky's finally being a fair football." No, I still hate the Cowboys. Don't get it twisted. I just love True. True Blue is one of my guys. So I'm gonna respect him. This is the only True. You got to admit, Wednesdays are the only days that I somewhat respect the Dallas Cowboys. And it's only us two tonight, so I can't give them too much heartache.
Yeah.
Now,
And
well, go ahead. No,
I
got
was gonna say, you know, going in, you know, now that we're on week 4, we're going, you know, to week 5. The players have to realize where they're at right now. This is it. Now this is the season. The injuries have taken their tolls already, as you can see. I mean, your side of the ball, the Cowboy side of the ball. I mean, we're missing offensive linemen. So this is where, you know, the knit and grit and the fighting is going to start coming out for between teams between weeks 5 and 10. So it's going to be very interesting coming up these next 5 weeks.
Hold on. Young K said, you should respect my Cowboys when you talk to me too. That's why I give you a hard time. Well, see, then you heard I said I like True Blue. No, I'm kidding, Young K. I'm kidding. Yeah, I like you too. I'm kidding. But again, it's just us two today, so I have to be nice. Now, that being said, this is a great. Well, there's one thing I want to say. Okay, maybe this is just me, and I'm not the Hallmark type of person. Okay, do you think they overplayed the Zeke and the Dak like reunion?
Oh.
I mean, I like the fact that the Cowboys gave Zeke his flowers. I believe everybody should be given, if you respect someone highly enough, you should give them their flowers. We should respect each other or show love for each other before we pass. You know, I think that's you know, the whole thing about giving someone their flowers. But I mean, after the game, you know, they broke from a game to go to the middle of the field. I mean, they showed that. I'm like, I don't know what's worse, either them or Taylor Swift. And, you know,
yeah,
I didn't finish the thought. I'm going
to go with the latter.
Right. Now, okay. Now I'm going to be a little difficult. And you don't have to give your prediction yet, but I do want your insight on next week against the 49ers. Listen, this is the problem that you guys have. Okay. You win the games, well, excluding Arizona, that you're supposedly supposed to win because you're favored. Now you're going to start getting to the meat potatoes of the schedule, and you got a bye thrown in there too, which you get a little break where you can lick your wounds. This right here, for me, this right here is a prelude to the playoffs, because you guys aren't beating big name teams. And let's be fair, as of right now, I mean, we could put the Seahawks there because, I mean, shit, the way they destroyed us, but that's not saying too much. You know, the Seahawks, you got the Rams, you got the Niners, you got the Eagles, and you got Detroit. So the NFC is starting to get loaded.
Yep.
And let's just say right now, you guys get that second wild card. Of course, we get the third. We slide in there somehow, 9-8. And I see you, Tanya. Good to see you. If you guys don't perform in these type of games, is there? Let me just straight up. Is there a concern? I mean, is there a concern for this week? Let me just say that.
Well, yeah, my offensive line not being there. That's my biggest concern right now. I don't have two of my. I don't have my center, and I don't have Smith 7-7 on the outside of my tackle right now with the injury report, and then the late injury with Zach Martin into the game. But he's saying he's rolling along. But going into the San Francisco game, my biggest concern right now is stopping the run. There still seems to be those gaps where these guys are just running right through, and Dan Quinn needs to do something about that. And the easiest solution.
Danny said, "We them Niners," and he's a Giants fan, by the way. Danny, much love.
And the easiest solution I see with the Cowboys stopping this is just containment. These guys, I saw it against Arizona. I saw it against the Patriots. It's the same thing, overcompensating what they're doing. That you need containment. It's just like basketball. I don't want the guys to get past me, so don't run towards them. Let them run towards you, then stop them. That's as simple as it is. Linebackers just hold containment. That's all they need to do. But they're over pursuing, and then they get out of their lanes, and then they run on by. But I think the run is what's got me right now. I'm not too busy worried about what Purdy can do with the pass. It's the run situation. If the Niners start running around with Christian McCaffrey, then that's something to worry about.
And that run defense of the Cowboys has been your Achilles heel since the Rams in 2017 in the playoffs.
Yep.
When was it
and
Anderson?
In 2019?
Yeah, 2019. But 2017 stuck out for me. But now I want to challenge you with something real quick. This is just you and I tonight, okay? And I'm gonna be, well, you could go on YouTube and check. So last night on my show, and I hope all the Cowboy fans, even you, Young K, I hope you're still watching. So about Tiki Barber, and he made his big proclamation about how he would take Jones over Dak. And I agree with him. I would say the same thing. But here's my justification for that, right? A lot of Cowboy fans don't even want Dakota.
No.
When Trey Lance, with that trade with Trey Lance, what made it so bad for Cowboy fans is first Trey Lance got traded. Jones, and he's the owner. He could do whatever he wants. He made the decision without confiding in coach, without confiding in Dak, without any. Again, he doesn't have to. It's his team. I don't even think he spoke to his son about that. I'm assuming. I'm assuming here. The moment that happened, and I said it on my show last night, that they basically, meaning the Cowboy fan base, laid the carpet out for Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
They would rather pick someone, and let's be honest now, couldn't even make it. And let me put this in the setting, in the preference, in the parentheses, so people can understand what I'm saying here. You had Garoppolo. You have Sam Darnold. You have Mr. Irrelevant, the last person in the draft.
Yep.
Okay. Trey Lance couldn't even compete against them. And you traded, I think, was it a 4th round pick?
Yeah, 4th round pick.
That's still kind of high. Now again, I'm not the genius. I'm in my opinion. Okay. Now, what do you say? What do you say, True Blue, about those fans that want to turn their back on Dak, but then want to get mad at, say, Tiki Barber for saying what he's saying, which to me, in some sense, makes sense because you guys don't even want that.
Well, I do, but the thing is it's instant gratification. We're at a point right now where winning is fine, but championships are what everybody wants.
Yeah.
And now it's instant gratification. If they can't have it right now, then they don't want it. And that's the problem with I see with a lot of fans from the Cowboys is they want instant gratification. So when Dak, messes up, they just want to assume him out. But the biggest ordeal about Trey Lance was his age. I mean, he was a 1st round pick. He was 20 years old. The kid's only 22, 23 years old right now. So he has some time to develop still. And I think you have to get that fire under some quarterback as a backup, bring somebody in to see, hey, you've been here 7 years now, kid. It's time to shine. And if you don't shine, guess what? I got a new shiny guy right here ready to go. And that's the thing now is you got to light a match under some of these guys. And the money situation and everything else is fine, but championships is what everybody wants. So Mr. Jones going and doing what he did, hey, I don't blame him one bit. He saw the opportunity, you took it.
And it's his team.
But the biggest thing that I saw with that was the kid's age. He wasn't a bad quarterback, and he only played 1 year, and he really didn't have that much time to develop. And then he gets injured, and then you have Garoppolo who left, who's now injured again with a concussion. You've got what's his name? The other backup guy. Of course he's going to be. He's been in the league 50 years. And now you've got Purdy, who's playing excellent ball. But, okay, 13 wins in a row, regular season. Okay, that's fine. But the ultimate test for the Cowboys is going to be this Sunday. I don't see
I guess they're
anything
not.
matter with what Jones did. I don't
I
see anything. But as
I
far
guess
as
they're,
fans of the Cowboys, there's fans like that everywhere. We're all fans. We all have that burn to say, hey, I want to win a championship. We start throwing our hats and and I know I'm not the only one that's done it
beating
once
up.
or twice.
I still remember Cowboy fans shooting his TV.
Yeah. And I'm sure he's not the only one.
And then there's punching TVs. They're
Yeah.
throwing away jerseys, burning jerseys. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are.
And you
guys
get
are
frustrated. And it's not
something
just
else.
the Cowboys fans. It's not just the Cowboys fans. It's across the board. But it's more recognizable that the frustration that's built because of where we're at today. But again, I don't blame any Cowboys fans for wanting to do. They just want to win, and they feel that they need to win. It's their time to shine, and that's all it is. It's nothing bad, because I guarantee you, they can go to another team. They can say, you know what, I'm done with this team, but it'll be like somebody else. They'll always come running back.
I know Philly was on real quick, and he talked about the Commanders and the Eagles game. I just want to kind of touch that a little bit. Wait,
Yeah.
pause. I want to talk about that a little. I don't know why I said touch that. Trust me, I was meaning football, nothing else. Now, to me, I'm going to be when you guys were talking about the 2-point conversion, I guess when they scored, I guess what do you call it? What's it called?
Riverboat Ron.
Riverboat Ron played a conservative football and wanted to kick the extra point and not go for 2. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. And that's essentially what happened.
And I didn't want to say anything because I know Philly wanted to say his piece and go to his game. I really, and again, you got to understand my psyche. I don't blame a coach for wanting to play it safe or make a conservative decision. Okay. And I know you said earlier that, it's maybe because he doesn't trust his team or whatever. I didn't misspoke. I didn't misquote you. Did I? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's basically the essential. He just didn't have confidence in the team.
Gotcha. And I would flip that and say maybe he did have confidence in his defense to bring it into overtime. Although I think they both had an opportunity. They didn't make it work. And then Philly tried it down the field and kicked the field goal to win. Right.
Yeah.
And let me get to that box score. Go ahead.
And the reason I said what I said was because of where the game was. You just went 4 quarters. You just asked your defense to go 4 quarters. You just asked your offense to go 4 quarters.
Ooh.
Everybody's gassed. Everybody's tired. Now you're saying, you know what? Instead of let's try to win this game, let's go into an extra quarter and try and establish where the ball's been going back and forth and the points have been going
and they
back
also
and
came
forth.
from behind too.
Yeah, exactly.
They came from behind.
So that's
all
why
that emotion and all that.
You want to look at it from a standpoint of, hey, my guys are gassed. I understand they're gassed, but you know what? We're in it to win it. And basically they whether he didn't think that his guys had enough energy or they were just tired. Well, that's the time you go in there and you suck it up and you win it.
Oh my God, you're right. Because they were saying that the guys were tired. I don't know. I don't know what's up with this team, with the Commanders. And I do wish Pork Ryan was here. And the funny thing is, to me, the Washington Commanders football team, whatever they're called this month, it's a team for me. It's like the land of the forgotten. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Until they beat us. And then I'm like, oh crap, we lost the Commanders. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, I say that. Like, so in the media, I hear that the coaching is too hard. What's the assistant new coach? That came from the Chiefs?
Eric Bieniemy.
Bieniemy. He's too tough on us. He's too hard on us. And now I'm hearing that they're tired. I mean, what else are we gonna hear? And I'm not gonna. I don't want to say too much because I do want Pork Ryan's insight on this. Why is so much
Focus?
yeah, well, I don't want to say focus, but I mean, it's not even like so much negative energy coming from the team. I mean, and it's like you got to think about you got to think about what you say. I don't know if it's being pushed out to the media or it's being leaked or people are making allegations. I don't know what it is. But first of all, to say that your coach is too hard on you, grow a pair. That's what I'll say to that. And I'll leave it alone. And to say that you were tired.
Yep.
You are one of the best athletes in the world.
Not too many guys do this.
As the Friday after next, Day would say, in the world, Craig. And you're going to tell me you're tired?
Yep.
Suck it up.
Instant gratification. That's the part. That's the part, you had that game right there, I think meant more for Washington than anything, being now that they're playing tomorrow, Thursday night football.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they are. That's why Pork Ryan is not making it tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. You gave your heart. You did everything you could do to try and win that game. You came back from two scores down.
Yep.
You're sitting there on the sideline thinking, you know what, we can win this game. And then you get a head coach that just changes his mind and says, you know what, I'm going to just go for one. I think, like you said, I'm going to leave it up to my defense, but my guys are gassed and everything else. And, you should have went for the win.
Did he say that or was it leaked?
I'm going to say it was leaked somewhere.
Okay.
And if it was leaked from somewhere, it was coming from, the frustration inside the building.
Right.
These guys have been fighting amongst themselves for 4 years now with the name
and apparently
changes,
the coaches
the ownership.
Too. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And now going to, more than likely going to get another name change here within the next year. So you got the frustration of a whole house of cards just falling on top of each other. And tomorrow's game is going to be even more brutal because not only did you go into overtime here, now you're traveling to go in for a Thursday night game it's going to be a hard game tomorrow.
Wait, who are they playing? I even had it on there. I forgot.
I believe the Lions.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. All right. I put it off long enough. Let's talk about the Giants again. Right now we got. I know Philly wanted to. Go ahead. You first, Blue.
The Giants and
Cincinnati. Yeah. Let's.
Yeah,
Giants, Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati?
No, I'm sorry. Seattle in MetLife. Monday Night Football. I want to kind of rehash, it's the Bears. The Bears and the
Commanders.
Commanders.
There we go. The Bears Commanders. I knew it was one of the NFC
Commanders, yeah.
NFC North teams. My bad. Going back to that game, I mean, you can see it in the stadium too from the fans. That was one of the most brutal things. As a fan of football first, for speaking on this side as a football fan first,
apart. Yeah.
Watching the fans leave, I just.
Well, it's years of frustration.
Oh, of course.
It's here we go again.
Of course.
And it's last year was fun. It's one of those comments. But I will and here we go. Austin, shout out Austin. He said it was a horrendous Monday night as a Giants fan. We waited damn near 2 weeks? What was it? 12 days?
Yeah.
From Thursday night getting beat in San Francisco.
Yep.
To come, go through that weekend, go through 7 days, watch Sunday football, See a tough Commanders team lose in overtime. We just talked about it
Nope.
in the division, thinking that we were going to compete to a team who I felt that was our equal, right? And to realize that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case at all. And here we go. Tanya said, all right, that's what's frustrating. You had all that time and still, it's like, this is the product on the field. Now, I want to go back to one of the comments that Tanya said, and I want to say something. Tanya, I don't know if you know this. I did some reading on this. So Tanya said, what are your thoughts on everyone freaking out about Daniel tossing the tablet and being frustrated at Jones? I think it's over. In my mind, it's like overplayed. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, frustrated, right? A coach is frustrated with his player, and he's allowed to be frustrated with his player. And that was right after the interception, okay, that 97 yards interception from that corner from Seattle, Witherspoon, who had a phenomenal game. I'm not going to see, he was everywhere on that field. And he was showing Jones that Waller was open. And he didn't, of course he didn't see, I don't even know what Jones was seeing. But again, I don't put that loss completely on Jones. I don't.
I'll tell you this. Those tablets probably have more problems than people realize, and you get frustrated with those things alone. So tossing it, it probably wasn't working.
And the funny thing, well, to me, I took I did chuckle a little bit when I read that Jones gifted a tablet to Dable, and everybody laughed about it. It was like it was a joke. It was a good joke,
of course.
But now we got to get back to work because we have Miami this week. And now let me back up. Danny, I don't know if you're still here. He was the first one to comment on here. And, Evan Neal. Evan Neal. And then he said, Sneaky, I know you heard what Evan Neal said. He deserves to be cut. I don't know what Evan Neal said. I don't. But I do know something about football. Okay. And I'm going to put this picture up. It's going to cover both of us. Okay. Now on the top picture, that's Evan Neal. And I don't know the Seahawks player that's heading towards Jones. Okay. But True, have you played football before?
That looks like Wagner.
Is that Wagner? I thought it was, but I mean, have you played football before, right?
Yeah.
What was your position in football?
Defensive back.
Defensive back. Okay. So, just so you know, do you know the style of blocking that this is called, that Evan Neal is doing on this Seattle defender?
The merry-go-round?
Well, no, it's actually called a lookout block. See, once the guy passes Neal is then supposed to yell at Jones and yell out, "Look out!" That's what's called a lookout block. And that is what Evan Neal is doing right now. And yeah, he's an all-star. The frustration I have, not just with Evan Neal, just with the offensive line altogether. Andrew Thomas hasn't played since week 1. We've been moving the line around, putting people in. We're not building continuity. We're not building a cohesive wall that we need to protect Jones. Everybody is on Jones's case. We paid him all this money. All he's doing is spending it, blah, blah, blah. The man doesn't have time to throw the ball. 5-step drop, 5-step plant throw. No, he has 5-step run, right or left, yes, or run up the middle.
Yep.
We need to protect him. Carl Banks, shout out Carl Banks. He tweeted a picture. He said, "What is the problem with the Giants right now?" Or something to that magnitude. And I said, protection of the quarterback and protection of the ball. We, Gray, I can't receive punts. I'm not gonna like I can. Okay, he dropped one right up.
Can't do that.
We recovered it, but he dropped one. The fumble that Jones had, like I said, offensive line. If you look at that play, the lineman got in the way of Jones. Okay, but it is what it is. And of course, the 2 interceptions. Now, we got to protect the quarterback and we got to protect the ball. Bottom line.
So the big thing, I mean, the Cowboys are suffering from the same thing. Our offensive line is injured. You have to start somewhere. And I just think
protection.
Well,
Dak has time to throw.
The thing is, and this is where I was going, is that as any rotational lineman, the biggest factor is the coaching. So if you're not seeing your line protect your quarterback, regardless of if it's the first team, second team offensive line, then the coach is the one to blame. The offensive line coach.
Well, Dable has taken accountability for that. And I got to get, didn't mean to do that again. Look out. I'm sorry.
Yelling. And that's the thing is that, okay, Dable's taking accountability for it, but what is he doing about it?
Yeah. Average 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I'm saying it goes back to, the thing is too, as an offensive lineman, you've got to look at the situation at hand. One, if I'm going to get beat, what am I going to do? I got to protect my quarterback. So hold. Okay. Well, just hold the guy. You don't want your quarterback to get hurt. So commit a penalty. You have to commit a penalty. I'd rather have 10 yards lost than my quarterback out for the season.
Yeah, but I want to agree with you, but good God, when we get those penalties, it's like it comes from like third and short.
But see, this is where I'm getting to. Long, this is where I'm getting to. The coaching has to step up its game. Because you commit one penalty, right? You're going to be looked upon. The coach is going to come yell at you. So there enforces your offensive line game. Your offensive linemen have to take accountability as well. Don't get me wrong. But your coaching has to step up his game. He needs to make his players accountable first. But as an offensive lineman, I've got to do everything in my book to keep my quarterback safe. And I didn't see that Monday. I mean, the kid's scrambling everywhere. And don't get me wrong, my Cowboys too, number 6'6", I was yelling at him from the top of my lungs. What are you doing?
Right.
It's not just your guys, it's all the offensive linemen across the stage.
I don't know if Nick Saban needs to come to the Giants for just a couple days to get Neal and even McKinney get, I don't know if this is because it's his contract year, or I don't know. I don't want to get into that, but we're just not good right now. And the sad thing is we're too damn talented to be this bad.
So what does that tell you right there?
Dable will say it's coaching. Dable, I mean, and I appreciate him taking accountability. And
it's not the head coach, and it's the position coaches.
Right. But he'll say that the buck stops with him. He'll say it's with me, and it rolls downhill.
You can say that, but you got to remember he's not able to attend, and that's why it might be good to be a fly on the wall, to be in those coaches meetings with those different, from the defensive backs to the offensive linemen. He can't be there for every single one of those meetings. So who's to say what's being done? Who's to say what's being said? So at some point, he's got to give himself a little relaxation as the head coach and put the pressure on the position coaches.
Yeah, I don't think, and I'm not saying that I'm not insinuating you're saying he should start calling out coaches. I think that's something he'll keep in house. I don't see that being Dable's style. So we do got let's talk about next week's game. We'll save yours for second to last because we're doing, since I got the key today. We'll do the Giants.
We got to do Washington. We'll got to do Washington Bears first.
Yeah, let's. So what do you? Okay, hold on. Let me find.
Since they play tomorrow.
Oh, there we go. I found them. Washington. So we got Washington. Oh, Chicago is going to Washington.
Yeah.
Commanders are 6-point favorites, and over under 45.
I'm gonna take Washington on this one. Under, of course. I'll say it'll be 27-9.
Yeah. I too. I'm gonna take Washington on this too.
Just because of Chicago.
And I think Chicago, there's just a lot of stuff going. But look, Fields looked good the first half. He looked like a freaking phenom the first half. I don't know what happened the second half. I don't, Russell looked good. Anyway, that being said, I'm thinking I think this is gonna be like a low scoring game though. I'm gonna go the under.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like, I'm gonna say 17-13.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's closer than that. And because the Bears are gonna want this one, but they're not gonna be able to
No.
to pull it off. All right. Now we got Philly going to Los Angeles.
Is that the Rams?
Eagles.
Chargers?
Yep, the Rams. They're going to the Rams. I'm sorry, the Rams. And I'll pick first since you picked first last time. And I'll make mine short and sweet. I'm going Eagles. And I think it's going to be like a 30-20 game. I don't. The Eagles are going to build such of a lead that they'll come back. The Rams will come back, but it'll be too much too soon. And the wide receiver, I know I said I was going to make it quick, so I'm lying. That wide receiver that I cannot pronounce his name,
number 15.
Yeah, Chukwunakawaka. He's going to have a big game, and I say that because I have him on my fantasy team. Okay,
I'm going to take the Rams in this one.
I'm
going to put the travel into effect. I'm going to put the overtime into play. I'm going to put, the last week's overtime into play. I'm going to put the long distance travel. I'm going to put everything into that game. I'm going to look for the Rams to bounce back.
The over under is 50.
Yeah.
So they're looking at a high score game, but yeah.
I'll take the Rams winning. It'll probably be a field goal too at that.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah. It'll probably come down to the wire just like it was against Washington where they take a field goal in order to win it. And I'll say 30-27.
Rams.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we come to yours. Dallas Cowboy. I'll let you go
Monday
last.
Night Football.
I'll let you go last, okay? I'm going to tell you, so in my office, we have a pool. We don't have to say the score. We just have to pick a team, okay?
Yeah.
And the loser got to take the winner, but it depends on how many weeks we win type deal. So, of course, the guy I'm going against, he's a Cowboys fan. So I purposely, as a strategy, I picked the Dallas Cowboys, but I don't believe that. I think San Francisco's too much. I do see Dak throwing 2, maybe 3 picks this game, and it's going to be like 24-7.
Yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to go in there with a huge rock on their shoulder. It's not even a chip anymore. It's a boulder, and I think Dak is going to do. He's going to do what he's going to have to, and not turn the ball over. I think Coach McCarthy saw what he did last year and how horribly. Again, that was with Kellen Moore. That was at Kellen Moore making those play calls. So I think we're going to be in a little bit better position to be playing this. And the Giants did sack him twice. The first sacks of the years were done by the Giants to Purdy. So I think Micah Parsons is going to have a bigger role in this game as long as these guys don't over pursue, as long as they can contain Christian McCaffrey. Now, do I think they're going to stop him everywhere? No, he's a great kid. He's a heck of a football player. But I have the Cowboys winning this one in San Fran after this huge drought that we've been going through. And I can hear every 49er fan right now in my ear just saying, oh, whatever. But I think it's going to be somewhat of a close game, but I think the Cowboys will prevail. And this will be about a 33-26 game.
So in the last 4 meetings, Dallas
very low scores.
And no. The last one was low, and
Correct.
the one before that, I mean, 23 points, 23-17, somewhat low. But before that, it's 41-33, and then Dallas romped the 49ers 40-10.
Again, that was with Garoppolo.
What is it? 2022. Yep, 2022, and then 2002. Wow, you got that was a little 20 years apart. Well, I'm looking at the last 5. So last 5, you guys were 3-2, but the last 4, 2-2.
Yep.
I think I really, of course, I'm hoping that you guys lose. And it might be a psychological thing. Dak just can't beat the 49ers, but we'll see. Last but definitely not least, my New York Football Giants. Take it away, Blue.
Ooh, y'all going down to Miami, huh?
We are working on our tan. Yes.
Well, I remember the last time that was down in Miami, somebody took a little boat visit to go get a picture.
What am I missing?
That group of 11 guys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you had to bring that up. You had to bring that up.
I mean, you guys traveling after a Monday night game, getting down there, the weather is going to be playing a little bit, element into this. Miami's playing good ball. I know they walked into Buffalo, they got their butts kicked, handed to them. But
just
Miami's
so you know, it's 11 points. Miami is 11-point favorite, and the over/under is 50.
Yeah, I don't see y'all secondary keeping up with Tua. He's just snapping that ball left and right, and I just don't see you guys, and their defense is playing good ball too. Now mind you, they just lost to Buffalo, so they want to come back home, entertain the fans. But I have Miami winning this one. And I don't think it's going to be a 70-point beatdown like they did to Denver. Because if something happens like that, which I highly doubt,
I'm retiring. I am retiring.
But I do have Miami winning this one, 35-13.
So ironically, Miami, I just had it to bear with me here. So our history out of 10 games, we're 7-3. Okay. With Miami. And the last, I think we have a winning streak. So we are in the last 4, we're 4-1.
Yeah.
Okay. We lost to them last in 2021, 9-20. Okay. But we beat them. I'm looking at here 2017. Oh, let me back up. Okay, I know we're over, but I'm over on our time. Ironically, we played Miami in 3 of our 4 Super Bowl runs. Okay, and we won all 3. We're not a Super Bowl team this year, and I hope to God I eat those words, right? But this is a different Miami team, and obviously this is a different Giants team. That is why I'm saying we're going to win by 3.
Okay.
I don't know, 3-0, 33-3, 40, 50, 73-70. I don't know, but we're going to win by 3. We got to get it together.
I just see Tua throwing that ball everywhere, and
he could have 700 yards as long as he leads with an L. Blue, it's been awesome.
Been fun.
This was a quick show. I'm sorry. This was quick. Just so you know, I can honestly see people now, screenshopping that whole whatever I said about the Cowboys when I gave them props. Dominating and Cowboys in the same sentence is going to be used. But it's always good to hang out with you, man. Hopefully next week we can have our powers, remember Voltron and I'll form the head, we'll have the whole, whole group together. But until then, True, I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Everybody else, but until then, let's go Giants.
How about them Cowboys?